And welcome to edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector podcast, a 60/40 production. I'm Locker Up Lloyd.
And I'm Beef Supreme, and we're no longer sponsored by those stupid two little libtards. We're taking over, and this is now a nice, solid right-wing podcast.
And I'll tell you what, we ain't taking nothing, but we're just washing our bodies off with liberal tears.
Yeah, but for all the things that liberal tears can't clean, there's hydroxychloroquine. I may not be able to spell it, but I sure as hell can argue why my research is better than some nerd who went to college. Hydroxychloroquine.
Yeah, I'm so sick of all these doctors, all these health researchers that are like, I went to school and studied. Like, yeah, well, my Aunt Peggy on Facebook said otherwise, and I've known her longer. So who's stupid now?
Like, anytime I walk into that doctor's office, he's got, 5, 6 patients? I follow a guy with 2.5 million followers, so I don't know. Someone's getting a lot more word out there.
Yeah, I've had enough of all these liberal. And what do they even teach you at a college, anyways, that you can't learn at a mechanic shop?
They teach you to follow Obama, and where did that get us? Not to Venezuela.
Yeah, now we got frogs that are gay. Thanks, Obama.
Windmills and electric cars, like nobody else is doing that.
Yeah, except for all them liberal other countries that are rich. Yeah. You know how they are. Yeah. So if you can't tell, this is our celebratory January 6th episode, and we're sold out.
It's not really much celebrating. It's a remembrance. It's a day of remembrance of when we, real American patriots, went to the Capitol because some man who isn't telling us what to do, but told us what to do, and we went ahead and we bashed police officers with flags, that thin blue line flags, and all to do things for a guy who wanted us to do things, kind of like a king, but not a king.
Couldn't disagree more. I think the last 4 years it was a remembrance, but right now, since all of our brothers have been let out of jail, I think it is a celebratory podcast.
Well, a thing about that, out of all of our brothers who got let out of jail, statistics, if you trust statistics, say that about 33 of us are going back to jail because we've been busted with all kinds of stuff ever since we've gotten out.
Well, you show me a man who trusts math, and I'll show you a man with an agenda.
We're not perfect people, and some of us have some things on our hard drives that we thought this was a blanket pardon from. So, it should be a blanket pardon.
I'm not pro child pornography, but I think if a brother has his heart in the right place, Jesus should be the only one who gets to judge him.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it was Bill Clinton.
Other than the libtard lizard people, send them all to Gitmo.
Yeah, except for all the people I don't care for.
You know who I do care for, and you know who's a patriot who's currently under attack? Elon Musk, a real American.
Yeah. Nobody is more American than our favorite South American.
Yeah. I mean, he's the right kind of South African that you want in this country. You know what I'm saying? But
you want to talk about pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of guy. Just real grit. Pure alpha. Look at that hairline. Look at that jaw. You can't make that in the lab.
Came here completely legally, did not overstay any kind of visa whatsoever. Just a real good guy. Never took a dime from the government. But his stock in a mighty Tesla, it went from $454 when those libtards ran this thing, and it was $451 this morning, and that thing just keeps on dropping to $432. And for some reason, some CEO of NVIDIA called Jensen Huang plans to jump into the self-driving car business with his Alpha Mayo. I don't know why he's appropriating my culture of mayonnaise in his name, but he wants to do self-driving cars too, and that's taking Elon's company down, and I don't know why.
Sounds like a Chinese conspiracy, if I had to guess.
Why are they coming over here and try to take our technology? Like Alpha Mayo, like you couldn't call it Alpha Sriracha? Like stick to your own kind.
Yeah. And why do we even leave all that soy sauce on the table? Nobody needs that much sodium.
Have you ever tried that? That stuff is spicy. Way too spicy for my take. I just leave it on the table. You give me that good old Heinz 57. That's all I need in my life and my palate born in Missouri.
Yeah, if you want spice, put a little ketchup on that lo mein.
Yeah. Oh, dial back that salt
American.
too. America. So, in addition to Nvidia gunning for the king, and they better not miss if you know what I'm saying. So, apparently, a new EV leader has come out. Some company called Hyundai. It's Hyundai, like a hard commercial. It's called like Sunday, but whatever. So they're selling a bunch of cars, and 1/3 of them are electric, another 1/3 of them are hybrid, and a third of them are real American, like actual engines with gas in it. And Tesla, well, they're not going to sit idly by. They went ahead and now they're doing a 0% financing for Model Ys because that's the best form of innovation is imitation.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know where guys like Hyundai get some balls to come into Uncle Elon's territory and try and do what he can't do better than him.
Yeah. Everybody knows that Elon invented electricity.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thomas Edison stole it from Elon Musk. It's right there in the trademark papers.
There I am in my Florida textbook. I've been reading about this nonstop.
Today's podcast is sponsored by APAC because you can't spell America first without Israel first.
Take a moment of silence for our wonderful sponsors here. And if you got a couple dollars, just go ahead and just send it over to Israel or any one of those guys you see with a little small hat on top of his head. Sometimes they have little long strands of hair coming down. They're probably looking for nickels in the street. Just give them some more of yours.
Yeah, and you know what? Why don't we try paying it forward? Why don't we try that hippy dippy liberal BS? You see a upstanding American, white, with a red hat. Go tell him you like the back of his mullet. Go tell him you like his scraggly chin hairs and one day it'll grow out to be a real beard. Go tell him his wife with the black eye, she already knows. Just say hello, be kind. You know, like Jesus taught us.
Don't talk to his wife. She's already said enough as it is. She don't need to walk in any more doorknobs.
Sometimes they just don't listen the first time around. That's
You know
why I can't go back to Jacksonville, Florida for another couple years.
Duval. So,
Future
you know
Super
who
Bowl
needs to
champs
walk
right
the
there.
doorknob? It's that Ukrainian President Zelensky. But apparently his little communist friends over in France and Britannia. You remember when we won a war against those guys? Yeah, that was awesome. So they went ahead and they said they're going to go ahead and deploy a multinational force to support Kiev's defense and reconstruction if a ceasefire for Russia is agreed on. Like, I got news for you boys. That ceasefire ain't coming.
No, and nothing we've read over the past couple years have even lent its way to there's going to be a ceasefire. It just ain't, because this Zelensky just refuses to let Putin have what he says he's entitled to.
I mean, maybe if you don't want to be praying for a ceasefire, don't invade somebody by being a country right in their path of invasion. Maybe we should have moved. Did we ever ask what they were wearing that day?
I'm sure it was something real slutty and low cut. I mean, how's a guy like Putin supposed to turn that down? How's it supposed to turn away? I mean, you know, for a god, he's only a man.
Yeah. Just walking around out there parading their rare minerals. Probably put an oil well right there by the border. You know they can't resist a good oil well.
Like a great man once said, hockey even has 2 minutes for instigating.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Uncle Dave's After Hours Daycare Transport. We can tell you our drivers are not communist libtards. They'll groom your kids to hate you. We don't regulate our employees with Gestapo tactics like infringing on their rights with drug and background tests. If they tell us they're a patriot and have a cross of adequate size, that's good enough in our eyes and in the eyes of God. Uncle Dave's After Hour Daycare Transport. They're missing their teeth, but not their morals.
And a big thank you to Uncle Dave's for sponsoring. Glad we found some like-minded individuals, if you know what I mean.
That's our people. Like, that's the last thing I want is you want to have like someone driving your kids and telling them in their ears the entire time to hate you. Like, that's what college does. And my kids aren't going to college. Well, first of all, I don't see them because I already left them to get a pack of smokes. But if I did see them, they wouldn't go to college. But I want to trust Uncle Dave.
Here's what I want to know. Why, oh why, would you ask me to spend the thousands and thousands of dollars to send my kid to more school just so they can learn that sometimes we're not always right?
Well,
In what world does that make sense to you? I'm not paying you to tell a jerk or I've done something wrong. Okay. Same reason I don't let my darling fiance send me to therapy. Okay. We've got plenty of drywall here and I can punch holes in all of it.
well, first of all, if you're paying for it, you're an idiot. Because none of these kids that go to college have been paying their loans. President Trump is the one who has to come back and make them pay their loans because they don't believe in repaying the loans. Because the one thing the colleges teach you is not to repay your loans. That's what they all go there for 4 years.
Yeah, yeah. It's like none of them took a math class there. They all just went to white guilt 101.
Yeah. Like out there, I mean, I went ahead and did a bunch of corporations and then got a bunch of COVID relief money, and then my debt was wiped away. But these kids better pay their college debt.
Well, you're a businessman. You
Yeah.
deserve to not pay anything and just reap all the rewards with zero risk.
Yeah.
Not these liberal hippies taking basket weaving 101 and learning how to hate America.
Yeah.
I mean, the day comes you want me to pay somebody to tell them I was not always right about everything ever. Okay? If I learn from my mistakes, what we're going to turn into Mexico. It'll be communist China over here. It'll be ridiculous. Any other country with a scary name, North Korea.
Well, it's we're being attacked on all sides. To be honest with you, have you heard this story about those monks coming?
I don't recognize any religion that don't have a cross, so no.
Yeah. Well, apparently there's a bunch of fellas, and unlike real hardworking Americans, this little bunch can't afford cars, and we got a full-on invasion. It's a bunch of these like monks, and they snuck into the country back when what's it called? Old Joe Biden was sleeping away, and the border is wide open. And down there, they started out in Texas, and they marched through Waco, where absolutely nothing has ever happened. And then they finally got off their wacky tobacco and finally turned east, and they're now headed towards Washington D.C., where Donald lives.
Oh, hold on. So let me just get this right. These are a bunch of white guys.
No, they're Browns. They're Buddhist monks.
Oh, so why isn't Donald Justice Trump taking this vicious gang down?
Wow. Apparently, they're out there preaching a bunch of things of tolerance and peace. But honestly, it's a big old front because we're fighting back against this. One of our things we went ahead and released a couple countermeasures, if you will, and we put a couple women on the roads, and one of them went ahead and hit one of these monks. Well, they hit a support vehicle about 30 miles outside of Houston, and they hit that support vehicle so bad that that vehicle crashed into a monk, and he had to get his leg amputated. Jesus Christ, do we have bad drivers?
So it sounds like a lady driver, while dangerous and untrustworthy in my eyes, um, took down a vicious gang member. That's kind of a win-win for us, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, technically, there was no mention of her being gay in any sort of prison, so she's doing all right. But they're still marching down. But we have a couple brothers down there in the Southern Baptist, and one of these stops over in Monroe, Georgia. There's a video of all these monks, and there's one lead monk out there walking around, and they brought a dog. They called it the peace dog. You know they're gonna eat that dog later anyway, but
100%, 100%.
yeah, probably they just keep they keep putting a new dog that looks exactly the same, kind of like a goldfish, and they eat that dog every night. But that's another story. But he's out there in Monroe, Georgia, and he's trying to talk, preaches evil things about peace and equality and understanding. And our brother's out there yelling louder through a loudspeaker about the teachings of Jesus. And I tell you what, if there's one way to get people back in the church, it's to yell at these stupid, peaceful monks.
Yeah, you keep saying peaceful, like their true agendas not to be the enemy from within. They lure you in with, well, the Bible actually says this and actually that. I've never read it, but I've definitely ripped a couple excerpts out that I've based my entire life on. So I think I'm the expert here, not some carless monk.
Well, I mean, right now they're currently clogging up one of our hospitals right now with one of their own illegals in our hospital system. And while real Americans can't get in there to get their nicotine patches.
This sounds like a job only Donald Justice Trump could take care of for us, is the way I'm seeing it. I mean, the guy's literally the answer to every problem and question we have.
2028, am I right?
I'm looking towards 2032.
That's when his son takes over. Or his
Yeah.
robot Donald. Hopefully we
Or,
have
or we
robots
cut
by
his
then.
son's heart out and give it to him, and then he lives for another 100 years.
Excellent.
Yeah. Now, God, could you imagine? If only we didn't hate scientists so much.
This portion of a podcast is brought to you by the Burger King Dining Room. As a sign in rural PA says, "Come in, the dining room is open." Burger King Dining Room. No shoes, no shirt, no credit card, no pants, no teeth, no problem.
I do love all these sponsors. As soon as we made the switch up, ooh-wee, are they coming in droves?
They are just giving us money, and we are taking money. We do about as many background checks as Uncle Dave.
Well, it's un-American if you think about it. And honestly, it's uncapitalistic, which is worse than being un-American.
So, don't worry. We've had a little bit of a downer show, but speaking of being American, it's speaking of being capitalistic. We had these little monks break in, but now, under Donald Justice Trump, Donald Immigration Reform Trump, we're doing this right. We're canceling. That's right. We're into the cancel culture now. We're no longer allowing these dweebs and these persecuted that are trying to come into the country. We're taking the pretty ones. Because, according to a top immigration lawyer, over half the clients seeking a coveted O-1B visa in the recent years are either performance on a pornography platform or some kind of online influencer. So, you can keep your tired, your poor, your held masses yearning to breathe free, and let me get those that are trying to clap them cheeks.
Yeah, no, we as a country, as a white country, I'm tired of the fatties. I'm tired of the uggos. If you're gonna come here, we should get your best. This should be your A game. They should make a competition out of it.
Yeah, listen. You can play in the minors down in Mexico until you're good enough to come in here.
Minors.
Got my attention. Get to the island. Jeez, that's good. But yeah, like the fact that we're screening it, and right now it's the L1B visa was actually one that was used for John Lennon back in the day, and I don't know what that guy did other than just get shot. So now we're putting in for OnlyFans, and I feel like it's a very good use of a visa.
Yeah, John Lennon was from the Beatles. I don't listen to anything classic, and I believe they just stole a bunch of hits from Kid Rock, if I'm not mistaken.
Most likely.
It sounds like what an immigrant would do. Okay.
Kid Rock essentially he invented American rock because he has rock in his name, and the Beatles they're sponsored by cockroaches.
Yeah, I don't know how the whole time traveling dual parallel timeline thing works, but you're gonna tell me the Beatles could have come up with "Ball with the Ball"? Not a chance, brother.
Yeah, not a chance.
Brother.
I think they don't know what real music sounds like.
Yeah, they're too busy licking their wounds from us kicking their aces all over 1776.
You think you're gonna invade this country through my speakers? I don't think so, boy.
Yeah. Not a chance, brother. We kicked your ass, then we had to save it. But you invented music. I don't think so, buddy.
Whatever, losers. But have you heard about what our elected leaders have been trying to do for us lately?
Not at all. I don't listen to the news unless Newsmax tells me.
Listen. So, I've actually read about, well, I didn't read about it, but I did my own research about it, so I Googled it. So, apparently, a lot of people have been blaming our godly elected leaders and accusing them of vacationing too often, not doing enough to release the Epstein files, fighting each other, doing everything to stop the Epstein files. The traditional propaganda. And, well, I'll just have you know about something called Section 453 that they were trying to put into our funding bill. And do you know what Section 453 is?
This red hat says clearly not.
Well, allow me to put a little knowledge into your brain here real quick, and you can do your own research by listening to mine.
Let me get some aspirin before you start, because we know what Tylenol will do to me. You counting trains and, putting things in order of size and color.
Don't worry. We have a sponsor to help you out with that.
Thank God.
Section 453, it would seek to prevent pesticides from carrying warnings on their label of health effects beyond those recognized by the EPA. So anything that will mess you up, they won't have to put it on there. And why would we force our pesticide companies to list all the things that poison us? It stops them from taking the time to research more chemicals to poison us even faster. And I don't know, have you thought about this libtard of all that ink that they use to write all these warnings? They're not good for the environment either. Once you wake up, sheeple.
Now, I do know that like you can't buy Roundup no more for your weeds
You can
if
buy a
it
liberal Roundup. It's not really that good.
no. Everybody knows you want to clean stink off of S.
Yeah,
You
it's
got to
called
go with the Patriot product.
it's called Square Up, not Roundup.
Yeah. I don't need some government telling me don't use this, it'll give you cancer, or don't add this to your meth. Buddy, I think Wasp. It sounds like Wasp is about to get a whole lot better.
Brother, you had me at I don't need no government, and I fully support that too.
See, there we go.
Now, the whole thing about our leaders is that Maha went ahead and defeated it, and they claimed it as a victory. But I don't know if this is a country that I really want to live in anymore, when simple people can affect how corporations work and what they have to disclose. I mean, if that happens now, next thing you know, they'll take your first bought gun. It's a slippery slope, people. It's a slippery slope.
If Jesus H. Christ didn't want us to have guns, he wouldn't have invented them.
Amen.
It's right there in the Bible, I assume.
Jesus carried an AR. If he had a weapon, he wouldn't be on a cross.
If Jesus had a firearm, concealed carry,
Mm-hmm.
you think them Romans would be walking around chest out? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Drop him down at 500 yards on a point target. You know what I mean?
They'd say, sorry, Israel. This guy's strapped. We can't do this for you.
This portion of the John Wayne Search Protector podcast is brought to you by AG409 Supplements. Have you seen those advertisements for the AG1 supplement endorsed by runners, Olympians, and just active lifestyle people, and were wondering when someone would make a drink for a real American? Well, check out AG409, which isn't a color of grass, but branded with patent-pending code red colors that we hope Mountain Dew doesn't sue us because their patent isn't pending. It has all the things you need, a boatload of sugar, and what else we put into it, because you're just going to be too busy looking at the graphic of a ripped guy in a lifted truck running over a towel head. It's basically 409 drain cleaner, but it's good enough for your sink, it's good enough for your stomach. AG409. Clean your bowels, clean your towels.
God, I'm getting thirsty just listening.
It's about time, man. It's like, sometimes I want to switch it up from Baja Blast, and I want something different. I want something healthier. AG409, that's what you need.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like I feel like it's a giant market that Monster and Red Bull, end of list, are missing out on. From the people that brought us Celsius. Give me something good. Give me something American.
Rip it.
I want to pee red, white, and blue. Help me, brothers.
My eyes are bloodshot. My veins are blue. I don't know, and I'm white.
Yeah, come on, get on it. Tell your scientists to be more American. And in the spirit of America First, we just went and liberated the holy hell out of Venezuela. Yeah, rather than let a bunch of stupid red tape bureaucrats tell my president what he can and can't do, Orange Thunder said, no way, Jose, and went and scooped up another country's president to bring him right back here for narco-terrorism charges right here in the good old U.S. of A. And I can already hear the rest of the world clamoring on about illegal war, imperialism, and other things I don't understand. But that's all just a bunch of Trump derangement syndrome. Next, they'll be crying on about we're only there for oil and how it's only a big distraction from the Epstein file. I just wish we could send all them college-educated dum-dums out to the middle of the ocean with the rest of the gay whales.
Did you hear about that conspiracy theory about why they went in to grab Maduro, other than the fact that he was a fascist communist?
They don't give you the middle name Justice unless you can back it up. So I trust my president, and all your other facts are probably just dumb and jealous.
I mean, obviously, we all trust Donald Justice Trump. I mean, what red-blooded American wouldn't trust a guy in power with dementia, alleged? But still, what they ended up doing to justify for those libtards that still are in the DOJ, they said that Maduro was the president of Cartel de los Soles. So that's apparently a cartel of a son. And the funny thing about that is, if you look into it, that's actually it's a cartel that was set up by the CIA when they were bringing in cocaine to America. So we went ahead and flipped that cartel name on the Venezuelans when we picked up their president.
I don't think my CIA would do that. They've never ever been caught doing anything bad. So sounds like you've been listening to CNN.
Something, something, Iran Contra, yada yada. Skip over this.
You mean the conspiracy by China to make us look bad? I don't think so, pal. Not in my
You,
country.
you mean the
Facts
guy?
are facts, and I only listen to the ones that support my theory, which is an idea, but bigger.
You mean the guy who was at the head of the Iran Contra controversy who testified back then is now supporting a broadcaster on Fox on the topic of supplying guns to other countries? Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like Iran is our enemy. Pin in that next episode. Today's January 6th celebration episode is brought to you by Shiny Lowercase T's. Want to ruin a poor waitress's day but still feel morally superior? Shiny Lowercase T. Hate poor people getting help but love that your pastor drives a Mercedes? Shiny Lowercase T. Do you love cherry picking excerpts from the Bible to fit your argument without reading the rest of the page? Shiny Lowercase T. When you hide behind God, nothing you can ever do is wrong. Get your shiny lowercase t today at any dollar store or anywhere stupid people are being taken advantage of.
I mean, is there anything better that you can give a mother of two who's in an abusive relationship working in a diner than blessing her with a blessing instead of money?
You know, she might not be single if she got my order all the way right. Did you ever think about that? No. It's that victim mentality. I might be yelling, but are you the reason why? Nobody ever thinks anymore. Nobody ever thinks.
This
Stupid.
understaffed place down here, and you're the only one to man 16 tables, and you forgot to refill my Coke? Like, goodbye, your money.
Yeah, it's not my fault you're 15.
Yeah,
You're going to
maybe,
hear the C word.
maybe if I was taking AG 409, I'd even run out on that bill.
All of this blessed news aside, we do have a little bit of sadness.
Uh-oh.
This week, I saw a bunch of posts, a bunch of liberals laughing at an online rumor that American hero and true patriot, guy who never did anything wrong,
Mm-hmm.
George Zimmerman, cannot find employment anywhere and is currently homeless.
My thoughts and prayers.
You know, he was, honestly, George was Kyle Rittenhouse before Kyle Rittenhouse. You know, he was, some people say, if you listen to like news or facts or police reports, say he was just a crazy guy with a gun who got terrified of a 15-year-old boy with Skittles. But I think we all know the truth. That boy got caught smoking marijuana allegedly one time. So obviously pure evil. He was trying to do the Lord's work and now he's homeless. So we're going to start a GoFundMe page. All proceeds will go to him because if you can't trust a conservative with a charity, you know, what country are we even living in anymore?
I mean, we all know that Trayvon sounds like an Al Qaeda name, and he was probably there to do work for ISIL.
Yeah, now clearly, we didn't even do any real deep dives. They keep showing this kid in a little cowboy hat. That was 10 years ago. How do we know this guy wasn't really 6'4", 42 years old, former NFL player? You know, how do we know? We don't. Because the police won't give us them facts because they were run by sleepy Joe Biden, even though this happened years before he was ever in office.
Where was Barack Hussein Obama during all this, huh? That's what I want to know.
Probably being a Kenyan Muslim somewhere.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by We the People Forearm Tattoos. Want to let the whole world know where you stand politically without having to do all that stupid reading or understanding? Get yourself a sweet We the People forearm tattoo and let the world know you're not embarrassed about the size of your southern spear one singular bit. We the People forearm tattoos, 'cause reading is for wussies.
Hey, one more thing about this George Zimmerman. I think he should start a business, maybe a wrestling school. I feel like he learned a lot during that time when he got out wrestled by a 15-year-old and had to resort to a gun. So he'd be a pretty good instructor in Krav Maga. Oh my God, well, that's what we should do. That Krav Maga thing, we should take it and make it for Patriots. Krav Maga. That's going to be another sponsor.
Krav Maga. We're in it. We're in it. We're going to be tip of the iceberg here, baby.
First
Finally,
phase.
top of the pyramid.
We're
This is
trickling
definitely
down
not
on
a
you
scheme.
paws.
Another bit of sad news. This week at the 39th Chaos Communication Congress, that's 3 C's, some hacker in a pink Power Ranger suit walked on stage and did the most disgusting thing I ever did see. Martha Root, who's clearly some jobless liberal, planted a bunch of AI bots on white-only dating sites. Not just one, but 3 of them. White Date, White Child, and White Deal. Then a couple of little fancy keystrokes showed how she used these bots to manipulate and trick the smartest, most genetically pure group of handsome geniuses on Earth. Alphas confessing their love to what they thought were future domestic violence survivors. Can you imagine? Then this uppity hippie went and deleted all of it, wiping all 3 servers clean. It's officially a full-blown war on us whites. And I'll tell you what, I'm glad I met my black-eyed Susan right where God wanted us to meet, at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Brickyard 400.
Where else are you going to find a better Christian woman than the one serving you Busch Light?
Sorry, fellas. Got one more quick word in from the sponsors. Promotional consideration paid for by Truck Nuts. Do you put a 10-inch lift on your pickup, but people think it's because you're coming up short on the measuring stick? Truck Nuts! Are not enough people giving you attention at that Kid Rock concert? Truck Nuts! Do you think the Punisher sticker on the back glass is because you're a comic book guy instead of a full-blown alpha? Truck Nuts! Grab a pair of Truck Nuts today at PeteHegseth.ru.
God, I don't know. I think we should do another one of these. This is actually kind of entertaining.
Oh, God. Honestly, I feel filthy. I feel dirty. This is stupid. Shouldn't be anywhere near Venezuela. Get Ukraine free. Free
How
Luigi.
how the hell are you protesting a bunch of monks who are walking from freaking Texas? And like these dudes are walking, so they're not exactly putting on any kind of pace. And someone crashes into their support vehicle, and that support vehicle then hits a monk who has to get airlifted and then has to have his effing leg amputated. And these guys are just walking. And then you're out there in a megaphone yelling at them for what? Like they're like, hey man, why don't you start bombing each other? Like, just be nice. Like, Jesus is the way.
Yeah, if you see a bunch of peaceful monks walking thousands of miles to protest something, and your initial thought is like, we should hurl insults and start throwing stuff at them. Yeah, you're not a good person at all. At all. You missed that whole turn the other cheek part of that whole Bible you love to hide.
Got a big old "What would Jesus do" sticker, and then your big old sign like "God hates the gays" that you're pulling out of the same trunk. You gotta make up your mind, buddy. You can't have both.
Yeah, you can't be a patriot and protest a gay soldier's funeral. It's that both don't work. You got to pick one.
It ain't gonna stop you guys, but it is what it is. All
right. Well, you know what? While this was fun, unfortunately, the rest of us critical thinkers have to go back to hating the world as it is right now. So I'm Locker Up Lloyd.
I'm Beef Supreme, and we'll see you guys on Thursday for a regular episode. And welcome to the new year. It's gonna be a long 3.
Later, Gators.